Hello, dear Cancer. I'm Michaela. Welcome to my astrology channel, Today Energy. And this is a May forecast for you, Sun, Moon, and rising sign Cancer. So let's dive into it and see what the month brings for you. Great news, the month starts in a wonderful way. On the 1st of May, we have a conjunction of the benefic planets Venus and Jupiter at 27 degrees of Pisces, and that's for you a lucky sector, part of your natal chart, 9th house. So of course it's a day which we must use, all of us. It's great for romantic relationships, for any projects we have, endeavors, because it brings luck and optimism and faith. By the way, it reactivates the great conjunction of Neptune and Jupiter that happened on the 12th of April. So you might want to think about what was going on in your life in the first half of April. It might be reignited here positively again. So it might mean for you great chances for either starting an education or ending with graduation, receiving your degree, your diploma, your certificate, studying languages possibly, because Jupiter rules everything foreign, or studying law. It might be a beautiful meeting with someone from abroad, or you travel somewhere. You might meet somewhere during your travels. Maybe, of course, for some of you is joining an international company. And at the very least, it's about expanding your own knowledge, your horizon. Maybe it's not through university degree or traveling or meeting a foreigner, but it might be just by getting some amazing book. And while you're reading, your worldview turns upside down and for the better. Yeah. For some of you who are dealing with some legal issues and court trials, it might be good news for you in this sense. On the 2nd, Venus goes into Aries, and that's your 10th house. So Venus is about pleasure and money. 10th house is about career. So great chances for you, Cancer, to get a raise, get a salary raise, being promoted. And especially Venus is about diplomacy. So as we say in my country, you can achieve what you want with just a velvet glove, yeah, without just pushing it, but by negotiating and using charm and diplomacy. Venus in the 10th house for some might mean engagement, marriage, because it's the planet of love, and 10th house sometimes talks about our status overall. It might be getting such a promotion and bonus that you move the house or buy yourself a better vehicle, car, for example, and people see you already in a different way, especially because on the 11th of May, Jupiter also goes into Aries, by this also transiting into your 10th house. So that's really a lot. Jupiter is usually big, opportunities for career growth. Jupiter wants you to grow, to expand. So don't be shy. Really, you can achieve very high status, being, I don't know, becoming a parliament member, or establishing your own successful business, or becoming a doctor, a teacher, PhD, something like that. Depends what you do in your life. Maybe it will be your first job overall, but Jupiter brings you luck in the 10th house. For some, again, it might be a husband in your life. On the 10th of May, Mercury stations to go retrograde at 4 degrees Gemini. That's your 12th house, and it will go retrograde until the 3rd of June, when it again stations at 26 degrees of Taurus and starts going direct. So remember these two dates, 10th of May and 26th of June, because those are not exactly good days for any, I would say, overall, any personal initiations, dealing with documents, traveling, planning a trip. For you, retrogradation starts in your 12th house. So it's about your subconscious, but also it's the health axis, 12th, 6th house. So not recommendable on the 10th of May, for instance, to start a new diet. Nevertheless, while Mercury goes retrograde, those 3 weeks, it will return you back to some unfinished businesses, and they might be in the realm of psychology. Maybe you need to really burn some bridges, releasing something, letting go of something. Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe you quit smoking, but then you start it again due to some circumstances, and now Mercury goes back into your 12th house of self-undoing and asks you to rethink this and get rid of it finally, especially when it goes back direct. So you might have 3 attempts. It might be getting back to some of your meditative routines, or going to nature for a walk, or retake this habit to take care of yourself, to go to a spa, to a massage, right? Like calming, cleansing body and soul. It might be as well, of course, some getting back to some projects that you do in isolation at home alone, like distance working, home office, for example, once again, or going abroad to some faraway land, but where you have been before already. And then on the 23rd, Mercury goes back for a while to your 11th house. So that might be old friends coming back into your life. You revisit some old clubs or groups of people, maybe like a book club or dancing lessons you quit before because of some reason. Of course, getting back to some old groups. Maybe it's a meeting of classmates from your school, yearly meeting, for example. On the 13th, Sun conjuncts the North lunar node, Rahu, in your 11th house. So that might be some news, really some gathering with friends, getting to know some new people, because Rahu, it's all about the unknown. It's all about that it's exotic, it's maybe younger people. So maybe you are joining some groups of like-minded people who are a bit different or younger than you. Or it might be some political organization. So you might have big aspirations. And 11th house is about our dreams and goals. So maybe you set up yourself pretty important, large, like dream big goals. And it's great because you will go to achieve them. On the 16th, we have the total lunar eclipse at 25th degree of Scorpio, together with Ketu, the south lunar node. Those are karmic nodes, right? If the north node talked about the future and the younger generation and the plentitude, the south node talks about the past and about releasing and letting go, as well as the lunar eclipse, which is just a very powerful full moon. Of course, it might be about culmination, and it's about your 5th house. So maybe those can be news and culmination of your efforts to get pregnant, for example. It may be some important events in the life of your child or children. Maybe they end some school now and they graduate, for instance. But yeah, Ketu, it's about releasing something. 5th house is our romantic attachments and partnerships. So maybe something changes and transforms. And this field, maybe a boyfriend becomes a fiance or husband, or maybe they just live your life for the better for you. 5th house can talk about hobby and even business, our own business. So maybe some of those are changing, ending for you. On the 18th, Mars conjuncts Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces. Once again, something echoes the events of the beginning of the month or of the beginning and middle of April, those big, beautiful conjunctions in late degrees of Pisces. So again, your 9th house, Mars is a lot of energy into your studies, into becoming recognized, becoming an expert, gaining popularity. Maybe you're becoming a teacher, or you get a master degree. Also, it can be about traveling, because Neptune signifies some distant lands. It's about dreams. So maybe you invest your energy into achieving your academic and professional dreams, or about being free and just travel to some beautiful exotic places. It can change also really your mind and your worldview, or even your faith and your belief system. On the 21st, the sun goes into Gemini, that's your 12th house. So when the sun is in the 12th house, yeah, especially in a sense, if you are sun Cancer, that means that after a month, there will be your birthday, so like your rebirth. But before that, sun is in the most hidden place of your chart. So it might mean a little bit of introspection, isolation, taking care of yourself, maybe research about your health, maybe just meditate, like evaluate the past year, what you have achieved, what you want to do better, and so on. It's great for taking care of your mind as through meditations, and taking care of your body as through spa retreats, massages, spending time in nature, as well as, of course, it might mean you traveling to a very far away exotic places. On the 25th, Mars goes into Aries, and that's your 10th house. So a lot of energy you can introduce into your career, but also your mission in life, what you truly want to achieve in this life, what you want to be recognized for, famous with, and even leave as a legacy. Of course, it might be even personal life. So Mars can mean that you actively start courting someone who will eventually become your spouse. But also it can mean a lot of energy into your career. On the 28th, Venus goes into Taurus, one of her two favorite places. And for you, that's 11th house of friendships. So that might mean very pleasant meetings with other people, especially women, younger women. Of maybe you're joining some class of salsa lessons, for instance. On the 29th, Mars conjuncts Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries. Again, your 10th house is enhanced, especially if your MC, the cusp of your 10th house, around 3 degrees, you will feel it strongly. It's like a day that boosts your energy and ambitions, aspirations, and there is no limit for them, no glass ceiling. Sky is the horizon, or sky is the limit, that's what they say, right? So really a lot of energy. Of course, you must be careful not to be kind of too pushy and too aggressive, especially with your superiors, teachers, parents. Maybe don't provoke some arguments there, but it might bring to you like reaching higher social status, becoming really famous, recognized, respected leader and inspiring person. And on the 30th, we have a new moon at 9 degrees of Gemini. That's your 12th house. We could call it the beginning of the end, because new moons usually bring something new, but 12th house is about letting go, releasing, ending, especially some bad habits. So you might want to start a diet or detoxification of your body, or the same way somehow work with a psychologist or a spiritual guru about your mind and soul. And this is an important new moon because it's 2 weeks after the second and last spring eclipse. This spring, as usually we had 2 eclipses, solar and lunar one, and it's a very intense time, especially for fixed signs like Scorpio and Taurus, as well as Leo and Aquarius. So they might feel very exhausted and passing through deep transformation during this eclipse season. And finally, 2 weeks after the second eclipse, the energy calms down, life starts running into its normal course. So people can integrate all these fated destiny changes that happened in their life, and thus the season of eclipses, of the spring eclipses this year, ends. Then we will have 2 eclipses still in the autumn, and again we will have an opening time for them and closing time for all this intense energy. So, dear Cancer, I really wish you a wonderful May. I thank you for watching this video, liking it, sharing it with your friends and close people, and for subscribing for my channel. That really helps me grow. Have a wonderful and successful, beautiful May, and I will see you soon. Bye.